Same kind of notes, same scale, but completely different result. The difference is I know which notes are question notes and which notes are answers. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly which notes in the pentatonic scale create tension, which ones release it, and how you can use it to actually sound like you know what you're doing rather than just running through shapes. This is going to let you be a lot more intentional with your phrasing and build momentum in your solos. And honestly, this is one of those things where once you learn it, you'll wonder how you ever played without thinking about it. And by the way, I've made a PDF that maps this all out for you, and it's available for free if you want to download it. The link's in the description. So here's the issue. Most people learn the pentatonic scale and they learn all the shapes, they can play it all over the fretboard, which is great. And then they kind of wander around it hoping that it's going to sound good. And sometimes it does, but it's random, right? So you're not really in control. So if I play through pattern 1 and don't really think about which notes I'm landing on, it will sound something like this. So it's fine, it's not wrong, but it doesn't really go anywhere. There's no conversation happening in my playing. It's like someone talking to you in a monotone voice, which ironically is actually how I talk. They're speaking to you, but there's no expression. And this is where creating tension and release comes in within your playing. Because a huge part of music is that push and pull, that tension and release. So let's pull up the diagram that accompanies the lesson. So here we've got pattern 1 of the pentatonic scale. And I've color coded it so that all these yellow notes or gold notes, these would be your answer notes. They sound very resolved. So if I do some improvising and land on those golden notes, you'll notice that it sounds very resolved. Did you hear it? Every time I paused on those yellow notes, it sounded like I finished a thought, like I made a statement, very resolved. Now you'll see there's light blue notes, and those ones are going to be your question notes. When you land on these ones, it's going to create tension and leave things hanging. Right? Sounds very unresolved, almost to the point where it's annoying if you don't resolve it. Now the one exception to this is you'll notice there's one blue note that has a gold ring around it. This is the flat 3, and this one can kind of go either way. Technically it's a chord tone, so it can sound quite resolved, but in like a rock and blues context, you tend to do little blues bends on it, and it doesn't necessarily feel as homey or as resolved as the other 2 notes. I'll show you. If I play it straight like that, it sounds quite resolved, but if you do a little blues bend on it, right, it really wants to go back to that root note. So experiment with that one, use your ears, and use it where you see fit. And again, all of this is in the PDF I mentioned, so grab it below, it's free. It'll make it much easier when you're practicing this stuff. So now that we know which notes are questions and answers, this is how you can actually use it when you're improvising. So I can start off creating some tension, landing on the blue notes. Then I can resolve it, landing on one of those gold notes. Create some tension. Resolve it. Resolved. So it's like you're telling a story, you're creating anticipation and then paying it off. And when you can be intentional with this, you sound way better. So a good way to practice this is when you're improvising, you could give yourself a little formula to stick to get used to it. You could go question, question, answer. So you do like groups of 3 phrases, and the first 2 you leave hanging, you land on question notes. Then on the third one, you resolve it with an answer. I'll show you. So starting off, 2 questions. Question, question, answer. Right, try another one. Question, answer. Now obviously we've just been looking at pattern 1 so far. However, in the PDF I've actually done this with every pentatonic shape. I've put in which notes are the questions and which notes are the answers using the same colors. So whether you're playing pattern 1, pattern 3, 5, you'll be able to know exactly which notes within them create that tension and release. So make sure to grab it because it'll save you a lot of time. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking this is great, but you're not super familiar with the pentatonic scale, I do have a course, Pentatonic Zero to Hero. It takes you from knowing absolutely nothing about pentatonic scales to being able to play all the shapes, locate them quickly anywhere on the fretboard, build musical phrases, and even steal soloing ideas from your favorite players. So if you do need a structured approach to learning all this, I'll put a link in the description for that too. Now, if you've been following this channel, you'll know I'm a huge fan of the horizontal pentatonic shapes where we go across the fretboard. So I've applied the same color coding to those shapes too. So the same principles apply. You can see all these golden notes throughout, all the blue notes, and then the little arrows are just indicating where you should slide within the shape. So question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. And then the second shape, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. And just remember, all of this applies whether you play these shapes in other keys, as long as it's a minor key, whether you're playing in G minor, B minor, D minor. Just line up the R or the root note within the shape with your target notes. The same notes will be questions and answers within that. So hopefully this was helpful, and don't forget to grab the PDF in the description. But here's the thing, knowing which notes are questions and answers is only going to get you so far if you're still having to cycle through shapes in the linear fashion, going shape 1, shape 2, shape 3, shape 4, just to get around the fretboard, because that's not how your favorite players navigate the pentatonic scale, and it's not how you should either. So if you actually want to snap to shapes in any key without having to cycle through your shapes one at a time, you need to check out this video over here. I'll show you how to use the root notes within each shape to move to any key seamlessly. It's going to let you jump freely between positions, which means you can actually use this tension and release stuff all over the fretboard. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.